Good evening and welcome to Hudson High School for tonight's Big Rivers Conference tournament matchup between the visiting New Richmond Tigers and your hometown Hudson Raiders. Please turn your attention to the video board for a message from this year's Raider captains.
In line with the WIA and Big Rivers Conference, Hudson High School requires good sportsmanship at education-based athletic events.
Admission to an event is a privilege, and with that privilege comes responsibility. Responsibility to conduct oneself in a respectful manner where the event is enjoyable for athletes, coaches, officials, and fans.
Lastly, please be reminded that state law prohibits the use of alcohol, tobacco, and drug products in area used by public schools. Would you all please rise and honor America by removing your hats to the national anthem.
Thank you to the Hudson High School Choir for sharing the national anthem with us tonight. And now for our starting lineups, starting with the New Richmond Tigers. Number 0, goalkeeper, Zaylen Sweet. Number 3, Nolan Wayne. Number 6, Brecken Posel. Number 8, Stephen Chapman. Number 11, Leighton Bostow. Number 12, Nehemiah Zapeta. Number 18, Nathan Dorman. Number 20, Jonathan Medini. Number 22, Ethan Heiberg. Number 27, Caleb Larson. And number 44, Evan Sanders. The Tigers are coached by Darian Blattner, Jeff Schrader, and David Garrett. And now for your Raiders. Starting in goal, number 0, Parker Strumke. Number 6, Nikki Alanoff. Number 8, Quinn Johnson. Number 9, Quinn Packard. Number 10, Owen Netterlow. Number 11, Soren Matson. Number 12, Henry Vandenbark. Number 15, Ben Weaver. Number 17, Jackson Olette. Number 18, Calvin Lassard. And number 19, Jack Poole. The Raiders are coached by Steve Sullum and Mitch Karras. Good luck, everyone. Let's have a great match tonight. Love that. All right, everybody, good evening and welcome to the River Channel broadcast of tonight's Big Rivers Conference tournament matchup between the visiting New Richmond Tigers, who will be in white on your screen, playing from right to left in the first half, and the hometown Raiders in blue, playing from left to right on your screen tonight. So it's a chilly night here in Hudson, Wisconsin at Hudson High School Stadium, and but the boys are young and ready for action, so it should be a fun matchup. Richmond takes the initial kickoff, and they're going to work it around their defensive end a little bit. These two teams had a great matchup earlier in the season. The first half was tight, I believe 0-0 maybe at half, or maybe 1-1 or 1-0 Raiders, and then the Raiders scored a few goals in the second half to put that one away. But it was a good matchup between these teams, and two very good teams. They were both undefeated at that point, about 7-8 games into the season, and these teams will play in different sections because of the sizes of their schools, and they'll both perform very well in those sections. I will guess New Richmond has a lot of speed and talent on that team, as do the Raiders. So now the Raiders moving the ball around. Everybody's feeling each other out a little bit and trying to figure out the matchups and who's going to do what. Raiders now pushing up. Looks like Vandenbark with the ball, taking it deep. Trying to send it across. That was a nice play. Good setup. That was Quinn Packard with the blast there. Very good shot, just defense in the way. Richmond's defense holds, though, and gets the clear. Raiders defense working that ball around, bringing it back to Parker Strumke, who it looks like from the information I received from Coach Solom of the Raiders, Parker will probably be playing the whole game. The other goalkeeper for the Raiders, Tyler Hindall, not available in this match. So Parker, though, a high-quality goalkeeper. Raiders very fortunate to have two excellent goalkeepers who actually split time every game. They each play a half pretty much every match I've seen. So and both play quite well. So that's really nice for Coach Solom and the team here. Vandenbark in the middle with the ball, pushing it through to Poole. Alanoff. Usually Nicky Alanoff is playing back on the defensive end, but he's getting some midfield action here. Fun to see. Soren Matson with the throw. Brings it back, puts a nice chip across. Little behind all of the offense of the Raiders there. But Raiders maintain. Try to push it down the side. Richmond takes it, trying to advance it now. Had a little trouble getting the ball out of their defensive end. Miscue there, and that'll be a throw-in for the Raiders. Netterlow with the turn. Pass to Vega. Poole. Over to Matson. Out to Packard. Back into Packard. Brings it down, sets a nice cross across. Has a nice angled play, but too much defense in the way. New Richmond with the clear, and the Raiders with the throw. For those of you not familiar, New Richmond is a neighboring community to Hudson, a little bit northeast of Hudson, but community that the Raiders play in sports often, in conference play, as well as summer leagues and all that good stuff. So a good little rivalry match here between these teams. So this is the Big Rivers. They call it a conference tournament. It's really to crown the way they crown the conference championship, not necessarily just who has the best record. It's who wins this tournament is the conference champion. So a lot of pride on the line, and in the first matches, at least, of the tournament, which started last week, had some bearing potentially on section seeding, which is out now. And nice turn there. Netterlow tries to side it, gets the shot off, but blocked by the defense. Be a Raiders throw. So Raiders ended up with the number 2 seed in their section, and will begin play in a couple weeks. So this some of these Big Rivers games will continue into next Tuesday, and then the sections will start a week after that. So good turn there. Netterlow's got it in close. Tries to set Vega up. Saw Vega streaking in, but goalkeeper Zaylen Sweet played that ball nicely, and New Richmond avoids a close call there with the Raiders. Fun night tonight. The game is under what? I don't know if that's a full moon or not. It's close, though. Can't tell if there's a little on the lower right that still needs filling, but it's close enough that it's impressive over Raider Stadium tonight. So. Richmond advancing the ball into Raider territory. Bringing it back, trying to send a through ball through, but Raiders defense is there. Again, New Richmond on the attack. New Richmond in the previous match, their strength came on the counter attack with some speedy guys up front, and they haven't had that chance here, and Raiders look like they're prepared to play some tough D tonight, and we'll see what happens with all that as we go. Nice through ball there by Matson. Going to get it up to Netterlow, who's got some wheels. He turns a corner. Defense closes, saves it from going out. I thought they were going to maybe get a corner kick there, but hats off to the New Richmond defense for a nice hustle play there and to keep it in bounds. Vega getting called for the foul there on the Raiders. That'll give New Richmond a free kick. Big kick up there by Zaylen Sweet of the Tigers deep into Raider territory. See if their offense can put something together on this. Raiders defense hold strong. They're going to work it out. Matson on the chase. Good play there. If you notice, Matson there cut off the inside move and really forced New Richmond to just put that ball out of bounds. All right, who's this? Is that 22? We don't have a 22 on the roster, of course. So I cannot share who that is, unfortunately. Maybe I can text one of the parents and see if they can Help me out. Foul there. New Richmond going to get the kick. I'm still working on who number 22 is. We'll hope a couple parents are maybe tuning in, or maybe someone, if the chat is available on YouTube and you know who 22 on the Raiders is, you can fill it in. It's not on my roster, the official roster. So we're about over 10 minutes into the match. Our score remains 0-0. Now New Richmond gets their first. Whew! They knocked on the door there. They almost kicked it down. Nice play, and snuck it past Strumke, and luckily Raiders defense was there to keep that ball from crossing the line. But that's New Richmond soccer there. They scrap and work for everything and make things happen. So Raiders with the free kick after I don't know if it was offsides over there maybe. So it may not have mattered anyway. Allenoff brings it back to Packard. All the way back to Ouellette. Sends it up to Soren Matson. Packard tries to through ball that to Nicky Allenoff, but goes off his foot a bit awkwardly, and Tigers throw in. Ball into Packard. Does a little left-footed chip there, but nobody home. Allenoff. Nice ball by Nicky Allenoff. Oh! There's 22. I don't know his name, so I can't share it. But he made a nice move on trying to get ahead on that ball. Ball up to Vanden Bark. Through ball up to Netterlow. Taken by New Richmond. One thing about New Richmond teams, they play defense all over the field all game long. So Raiders will not get a break today, no matter what the score is. And big through ball through there by the Raiders, but a little out of reach of Matson. And Zaylen Sweet with the punt for New Richmond. Ouellette with the jumping header, sends it in. Raiders going to pressure. I'm wondering if 22 is Kelvin Lassard. It looks like Kelvin. Maybe he forgot his jersey or something, which high school boys occasionally do. See if somebody can fill me in, though. All right, if we have a break in the action, I do see the superintendent of Hudson Schools right outside my window, and his son is on the team, so he probably will know who 22 is. Big blast from New Richmond. Nice save by Strumke. Big blast from a tough angle to get that ball on net. That's a nice shot. All right, New Richmond with a free kick here. See what they can do with it. It's probably close enough they can get it in the scoring area. It's a nice ball. It's in a good spot. Unfortunately, no Tigers there to receive it, and the Raiders get the clear. Comes Netterlow. Tries to make the turn, but number 3, Nolan Wayne of the Tigers has some speed of his own and is able to fight that off on Netterlow, and the Tigers maintain the ball. Alanoff running into a few too many defenders there as he tries to get through for a shot. Oh boy, who do we got? Will Cook, Diego Vega.
Into the match for New Richmond, number 9, Mason Benning. And in for the Raiders, number 2, Will Cook, and number 3, Diego Vega.
So in for the Raiders, we have a sophomore and a freshman entering the game for the Raiders. 2 solid players even at those younger ages, and 2 young players getting some good experience here to carry into the future for the Raiders, along with like Tyler Lassard, who's just a sophomore and one of the team's leading scorers. Lots of young talent coming up on this Raider program that'll be fun to watch in years to come. There's Cook sending it out. Vega lets it go and keeps a sprint on. That's a nice little move and communication there. Matson sets Vega up, who takes a nice move, gets a nice little cross. Just tough play. Tried to play it a little short, hoping somebody was streaking in and nobody was, and then taken by New Richmond, but a nice play there. Cook with some nice moves there, brings it back. Sets up to Alanoff, who sends the ball out wide, but a little too much for Vega, and that's going to be a goal kick for the Tigers.
Sneaking it through, and Alanoff's got it in the corner. Goes for the cross. Hits New Richmond in the back and stays in. Alanoff plays it back to Packard. Nice cross there by Quinn Packard. Nobody home necessarily. Matson playing it, keeping it alive. Big save there also by the Raiders. Sneaks it through, but Zaylen Sweet picks that ball up and puts an end to that threat. We're now 20 minutes into this first half of the match, and our score remains 0-0. For those of you tuning in on YouTube, I think the chat is now available, and if you'd like to pop a note in who you are watching on the field here, and where you're from. It's always fun to see and see who's the furthest away, and we love to see who our listeners are, including if you're from New Richmond. So here we go. Raiders with pretty sure that's Tyler Lassard. Oh, nice play there, and there's a goal by Mr. Vega. Or was that Cook? I guess I better watch it again. Yeah, I'm checking. I think it's... Oh, yeah, that's Will Cook, number 2. Yep.
That's number 2, Will Cook with the goal for your Raiders at the 21-minute mark.
You got better eyes than me. What number is that? Number 2, you were right. Nick Lassard, thank you for the comment. I thought that was Tyler in the way he looked, but the number, I just wanted to be sure, and appreciate the help from wherever you are. And good opening lead here for the Raiders with that goal by Will Cook. A nice angled shot to the far end of the goal, and that's going to put the Raiders up 1-0 in a tough game. That's Calvin, right? Okay, I figured, but thank you. All right, full confirmation. I think it was Calvin's mom was also here, making sure I knew that was him. So it happens. Every player forgets a jersey at some point. The worst thing you can forget is your cleats, because tough to play without cleats. My son in middle school forgot his cleats, but his coach had cleats. But the coach was a girl who had bright pink shoes, but he wore them anyway and performed admirably, even though the shoes were he had to wear 3 pairs of socks to get them to fit. But you make it work. So here we go. Ball in here to Packard with the throw. We got a number of Raiders coming in now. Twenty-one, 10. I missed somebody, I think, but maybe right there, 13. 13, yeah, 21, 10, and 13.
In for the Raiders, number 10, Owen Netterlow, number 13, Giovanni Morales, and number 21, Sam Olson.
And the Raiders get a blast as I'm reading and checking there. And however, offsides, not a goal anyway, so it doesn't really matter. It's either a punt or a kick for New Richmond. And There's the punt. Ouellette on it on D, but somehow the ball spinning kept it in New Richmond's possession. And now they're playing it back to their defense. And that ball slips out of bounds. Will be a throw-in for New Richmond. Ouellette taking that ball and sending it back to Parker Strumke. Clears that ball. Oh, nice little heel flick by New Richmond, trying to catch everybody off guard. That rarely works, but that was a nice case of a great play, but picked off by the Raiders. But and by not working, I mean it usually doesn't go somewhere positively, kind of goes wherever, but that one went in a very strategic location. So that ball sneaks out of bounds. Looks like it will be a Raiders corner kick from the far side of the field. It's like Will Cook and Soren Matson in the corner. Big ball in by Matson. That's a nice ball. Nice play by Zaylen Sweet of New Richmond to jump and take that ball out of the air right over Nathan Poole and or Jack Poole, sorry, and nice play. 5 shots on goal by the Raiders already, 1 score. So Zaylen Sweet is he's getting some action back there, but he's holding his own with a score of the Raiders up 1 over the Tigers with 0. Morales on the ball there. Brings it back to Quinn Packard. Some nice ball movement by the Raiders. Some all-time favorite Raider fans, the Hausers, Amy and Dave, checking in and watching the game from home. This will be a good match for you guys to watch, and tune in next week too, and you'll see more great Raider soccer as the sectionals start. I coached both of Amy and Dave's boys, and hope they're doing well. Haven't seen them in a while. Ouellette with a nice step-in play. There's a collision. I'm not sure. Well, he's a big guy, and sometimes those collisions are incidental and not called, and sometimes they are. And this time it was, unfortunately, for the Raiders. So New Richmond going to get the ball in a very dangerous spot on the field for a free kick. Raiders can make a wall, and that'll make it more challenging because you got to get up and over that wall in a short space. So won't be surprised if New Richmond maybe does a pass to try to break up the wall and open up the angle, but they may also just rip it and see what happens and hope the wall breaks down. Oops, stop the clock. Not sure why he's stopping the clock, but yeah, I'd start it now. No, he blew the whistle, so. Ooh, that's a great shot. Yeah, actually got the right kind of spin on. So it gets over the wall and comes back down, but hits the upright, the far post. So heck of a shot. That's probably one of the best shots like that I've seen in high school soccer. So, and then they get a nice cross, but Strumke's there and collects that ball and puts it into that New Richmond threat. So I'll have to go back and watch that shot. That was pretty good. Lassard fielding that ball, getting a little pressure from behind, and New Richmond takes it back. New Richmond with a little confidence now and applying a little more pressure here on the Raiders defense. Actually, it's the biggest thing I would say I'm seeing from New Richmond is they started slow. They were not moving quickly. They were not closing on the ball. And now they're kind of the New Richmond team I'm used to seeing, where they are all over the ball, all over the field. So something woke up. Maybe the goal got them energized that because whoever wins here will play next Tuesday, and the winner of that game is crowned the Big Rivers Conference champions. So despite where you really fell in the standings, you're playing for something. You're playing for that patch on your jacket. You're playing for that conference trophy to be in your case. Another nice play by Zaylen Sweet. Lots of fouls tonight. Nothing major, but just lots of fouls. There's a nice play there. Oh. Oh. I had to just sit and watch that. Netterlow made some nice plays to keep that ball alive on the sideline, and then it just kind of rolled around.
In for the Raiders, number 6, Nikki Alanoff, and number 19, Jack Poole.
Another shot on goal there, and collected by Zaylen Sweet. We're now at the little over 31-minute mark. Hudson Raiders continue to lead 1-0 over the visiting New Richmond Tigers. Again, I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in to the River Channel, which tries to bring as many Hudson High School sporting events to the Hudson community and abroad on their YouTube channel here, and appreciate everybody tuning in for tonight's matchup. It's a nice ball, nicely played by Poole, and to not be offsides, and he played it perfectly. He was watching the defense, and it was a nice play, and he got an opportunity, but again, Zaylen Sweet just playing textbook goalkeeper and getting in the right spot at the right time, and making a nice play. New Richmond with another takeaway, trying to push that up the field. We have some special guests here in the booth, if you haven't heard. So Raiders now at the throw. Comes Quinn Packard, number 9 for the Raiders, getting backed up a little bit. Into Alanoff, who makes the turn, does a little heel flick, keeps it going, but too much defense there. Olet plays it out wide. Can't really see who that is, but these dark nights, and when it's cold, we keep the windows shut, so it's even harder to sometimes see the little numbers on the soccer uniforms, especially the front. But we do our best here, folks, and New Richmond with another goal kick here. Sweet with a big kick. Looking at the flags around the field, there's not a lot of wind tonight, so we'll probably see balanced play both halves as long as there's no wind, and that's nicer for the players, obviously, and coaches and parents in the stands. And comes Cook on the attack, gets it to Poole. He's got some space, makes the turn, plays it out wide to Netterlow. Good safe advancement of the ball here by the Raiders. Attack by New Richmond, keeps it. Netterlow saves it. Maintains it. He's got some spot to do. Nice cross there. Oof. Just beyond what Poole could do with it, but keeps it alive. Poole now, again, keeping it all alive. And I think that went out of bounds, and it'll be a New Richmond throw. Raiders bring it all the way back to Strumke. We go. New Richmond with another free kick. Free calling a lot of fouls, but just trying to keep this game under wraps. And the players are playing a good match all around, and fouls are part of the game, so we're not going to get too worked up about those calls. All right, who's this guy? Can't see his number. Number 9.
In for the Tigers, number 9, Mason Benning.
Looks like we have a good crowd watching online. We appreciate each and every one of you tuning into the River Channel here on YouTube. Richmond on the attack again, trying to penetrate that Raiders defense, but Raiders get it out. Gets to Netterlow, who's going to carry it up. Sends a little through ball through to Poole. Manages it well. Oh! It's a really nice through ball by Netterlow, and Poole collected that ball in stride nicely and saw the goalkeeper coming at him hot, and put a nice shot on, just sent it wide though. I know Jack is probably wishing he could replay that whole thing over again and do that shot a hair different, but still a heck of a play. So, great cut back there by Will Cook. He's got it out to Sam Olson, who's in the match for the Raiders. Plays it off. Raiders will have a corner kick. Looks like Quinn Packard is heading to the corner with, I think that's Jack Poole. Ball clearly has to be on the little yellow arch there, and the ref said it wasn't, so the boys corrected it. We're now down to almost a minute and a half left in the match. It's a nice ball. And the Raiders snuck that one through. That was Quinn Packard, I believe. Let's get the number 9 there. Yep, number 9, Quinn Packard.
And at the 38-minute mark, that's a goal for your Raiders. Number 9, Quinn Packard.
So really nice shot by Packard. That ball was kind of all over, and tough play for New Richmond goalkeeper Zaylen Sweet, because that ball was just sort of spinning and bouncing all over the place, and you got to pick a spot to be in. He picked the wrong one, and Packard just put a great shot on goal there. So the Raiders, right before the half almost, advanced that score up to 2-0 lead, and we'll see what happens here in the last minute.
One minute.
And an offsides call there on the Raiders as the clock ticks down towards halftime. We will take a 10-minute break along with the game here at halftime, so folks at home, you can go get yourself a snack, get yourself a beverage of choice for the second half, and we'll see you back in about 10 minutes after the whistle blows here. Richmond gets a sneaky play through, but Strumke is there, so even down to the last 30 seconds, we've got some action here.
Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That's halftime. Our score, Hudson Raiders 2, New Richmond Tigers 0. We will see you back in 10 minutes. If you're a little chilly, hit the concession stand for some warm snacks and beverages.
Oh, here we go, folks. Back for the second half. Recap, the Raiders had 2 scores in the first half, one by Will Cook, and the second goal by Quinn Packard on a nice blast. So 2 good goals from the Raiders, and that's where the score sits. New Richmond has knocked on the door several times, but not able to have the ball hit the net. And our score sits at 2-0 with the Raiders win. So the visiting New Richmond Tigers in white are now playing from left to right on your screen, and the Hudson Raiders in blue now playing from right to left. No wind tonight, so not much of an advantage on really which side of the field you're on. Even the slightest wind can have an impact, but not much here tonight. A still night with a full moon. It's a beautiful night, but chilly. Sounds like the hot chocolate line here at Raider Stadium was long at halftime, so people needing to warm up. And here comes New Richmond, trying to put something together. That's a nice little pass there, but picked off by Matson. Up to Lassard. So Calvin Lassard is now in his normal 18 uniform. Jack Poole on the play there, forces a throw in deep for the Raiders. I think that's Soren Matson getting ready to throw that ball in. And try to get it to Netterlow, who will head it over if he can, but that's headed out by New Richmond, and they're going to push it up. Quinn Johnson, number 8 there on the defensive end here. It's a nice play and sending that ball, trying to get it up there to Netterlow. Next game for the Raiders is next Tuesday night here at Raider Stadium. I'm not sure. I think we have to wait to see who the opponent may be. Nice move to keep it alive there by number 8. That's Stephen Chapman, but ultimately Raiders take that ball back, and here's Netterlow on the attack. Nice defense there by number 18. That is Nathan Durman of the Tigers. So some nice play out of the Tigers. Have played a good, nice game overall here. Just not really able to get the high quality offense to get some solid shots. They did have one penalty kick about 2 yards outside the box. It was just a beauty. Had the great top spin that got it over the wall, down to be on goal, but hit the post. So that would have made for a more interesting a 2-1 game here. But the post held up for the Raiders, and we're sitting at 2-0. Raiders defense now going to play this ball around a bit. Teams sometimes wonder why the defense will do that, but it changes where everybody on the field is as they move it around with the defense, and they're just looking for a better seam to push the ball up the field, or even potentially send a long ball if someone can get open. So Raiders with the corner kick. Again, folks, if you're tuning in on YouTube, please feel free to drop a note in the chat of who you are, who you're cheering for, whether it's a team or player, and where you're from. We've often had people from California, Seattle, Florida, etc. tuning in. So Raiders going to get another corner kick here, it looks like. Oh, it's a nice play. Lassard just got his head on it, but it skimmed over. Quinn Johnson with a nice ball up there too, back into the scoring area. New Richmond playing some tough D there. Gets the ball out, but the Raiders keep it in. That was close. Netterlow closed in on it. He saw what was happening and got close, but Zaylen Sweet makes a nice play there and gets a good punt off. Head over by New Richmond, I believe. Nope, head over by the Raiders. Goes out of bounds. Will be a throw-in for New Richmond. Vandenberg on the defense, plays it well. That's going to be a goal kick for the Raiders. Strumke now getting the full game. Usually throughout the season, he and Tyler Hindall split time, but Strumke getting the full game tonight. Headed back by New Richmond, and the Raiders send it up, and here comes Lassard. A little contact there, but not enough for a foul, and he keeps his feet on the ball, though. Too much defense. I'm not sure if there was enough communication to let him know he needed to pass that off, but a little too much defense there. So Raiders collect at midfield, now back on Lassard's feet. Sends it up. And Zaylen Sweet covers that up nicely. There's the Hausers getting on the chat board. It's a chilly night, probably not a bad one to stay home and watch the game on your couch and on your big screen. Fortunately for me, the press booth here at Hudson Stadium is nice and warm too. This broadcast is brought to you by the River Channel. My name is Jeff Ian. I'm the announcer. I just show up, sit down, and talk, and my colleague Jeff Munter does all the heavy lifting and the cord work and all the bells and whistles and wires and devices and bringing it all to you. So hats off to Mr. Munter. I have no technical language to apply to what he does, so I do my best. Incidental collision there, no call from the ref, and that's probably the right call. New Richmond kind of had possession anyway, so it's called advantage in soccer, which sometimes drives people crazy that a foul can happen and there's no penalty. The referee has the right to let the play continue, so maybe somebody gets tripped, somebody gets knocked over, but if the team has the ball in what's considered an advantage situation, no penalty will be called. So it's a judgment call by the ref. But sometimes people see somebody go down and they just want a penalty so bad, but that's not how it works. So here we go. Raiders back on D. New Richmond trying to get something on the board here. It's a nice play there by Chapman of the Tigers. Sends a nice little through ball through. Allen off there to clear that ball and end that threat. That'll be a throw-in deep in New Richmond's offensive half. Ball's up to Lassard. Pulls it back, gets a nice shot off. A lot of heat on that shot and not able to be handled by Zaylen Sweet. He is enough to get on it so it goes out of bounds, but that'll be a corner kick for the Raiders, and we've got some subs as well.
In for the Raiders, number 2, Will Cook, and number 3, Diego Vega.
Here it comes. It's a nice kick, nice and high, right where you want it. And nobody able to get ahead on that. Quinn Johnson trying to keep it in and alive, but sends it off a little awkwardly. And it'll be a goal kick for New Richmond. We're now about 11 minutes into the second half, so about 29 minutes left in this match. Raiders continue to lead 2-0 against New Richmond. Vega trying to get a little move around, and that ball just gets moving on that turf. It's much faster than grass, so it's hard to. Sometimes that ball just gets away from you when you're moving fast and trying to move that ball, but you're moving fast and trying to move that ball slow, and that's tough to do. New Richmond sending it all the way across the field. Richmond's settled in now. They're playing, I think, a much better soccer than they did the first 10-15 minutes of the match, where they just looked a little lethargic. Now they've kind of woken up and they're playing some good soccer here now. These teams are from different size of school levels in Wisconsin sports. So Hudson plays in the big school league. I think New Richmond's one tier down, maybe 2 tiers. So they will not play each other in the sections, and both of these teams, though, should do, like I think I said earlier, should have very good runs in the sectionals that'll be coming up soon. Netterl with a nice save on the sideline, gets it up to Vega. He's got some pressure, plays it back to Vandenbark. Tries to get it to Vega, but didn't see that defender there, I think. And Raiders will get a throw, though. Heck of a save there.
In for the Raiders, number 13, Giovanni Morales.
So a heck of a little play there for the Raiders, but again, Zaylen Sweet in goal for New Richmond comes up with a save there, almost point blank. Raiders get the shot across, and he kind of stuffs it right as the Raiders were trying to shoot it about maybe a half a yard off the goal line. So heck of a play by Sweet. Big ball up to Vega. Cook sends the head over to Poole. Again, the ref was about to call a foul on Poole. He was making a little more contact than probably is necessary, and there's a foul on Poole. But ref let the first one go because New Richmond held the ball in a good spot, and it's advantage. Ref is chatting with Mr. Poole, I think, telling him to tone it down a hair, which probably is a good idea. Last thing the Raiders want is give New Richmond a chance at making this a one-goal game, because then you never know what can happen. So Strumke fields that one straight out of the air. punt. It's going to get over the head of Netterlow. Vega's on it. Tries to flick it ahead to make something happen, but Sweet comes out far for it. Nicely played. Cook goes in, pulls back. And a throw in for the Raiders. Raiders get the free kick. Alanoff's he's got the leg to put this right where they want it, and we'll see what they can do with it. A little bit low, but Netterlow's there. It was a nice play. If Netterlow could have got a little more on that ball, could have been spectacular, but that's a tough timing play for any level of soccer. So, but I like it. Still be a goal kick here for New Richmond. Packard with a nice header there and comes back for the Raiders defense. Vandenbark in the middle, gets it up to Poole. He's going to try to thread it. He's carrying it. And almost got it through to Netterlow. Vega on it, fighting his way through all the defense. And eventually, as happens in most cases, the defense wins when there's 3 or 4 of them on the offensive player. Quinn Johnson with a nice boot in there. Vandenbark with a nice move. Stays alive despite some contact. And Richmond gets the ball and sneaks it up the sideline. Alanoff now picks it up in the middle. Sends it over to Quinn Packard over there. Packard on the far side, Quinn Johnson on the near side. Alanoff manning the center D spot. There's Audrey Packard and the Packards checking in from Manorville, Minnesota. Thanks for tuning in. Oh, that was a close one again. Netterlow getting close a lot now, and all that good stuff. But thank you, Packards, for tuning in and being good regular fans of Raider soccer here on the River Channel.
Number 21, Sam Olson in the game for the Raiders.
Sam Olson, another younger player, sophomore in the game for the Raiders. He played some time in the first half too, so it's good to see these young guys getting some quality playing time here at the end of the season, and be nothing but good for the Raiders down the line to have that kind of experience from so many players. Thrown to Cook. Gets a turn, tries to get across, kind of stifled by the Tigers defense. Alanoff goes for a one-touch to try to punch it up the field quickly. Nicely played, but New Richmond was right on it. New Richmond coming up again, trying to make something happen. I don't know if there's been a... two big blasts out of number 11, Leighton Bostow of New Richmond, and then foul on the Raiders outside the box again, it looks like. Or no, offsides call, and which trumps the foul, and be a free kick for the Raiders. We're at the 60-minute mark, so we're halfway through the second half. Another 20 minutes left in this match. There will be no overtime if New Richmond puts a couple goals on the board. This is not an overtime situation game. When those guys are running hard. It's fun to see. There's not many that match Owen Netterlow's speed, but that defender was. New Richmond's got a lot of speed on their team, and they showed it there. Another throw in here for the Raiders. Oop, we got some subs. I can't see the numbers. 9 and no, I missed that one. Was it 11? I didn't even know he went out. Okay. Oh, 11, Matson. Yeah.
In for New Richmond, number 9, Mason Benning. And in for the Raiders, number 11, Soren Matson.
Ball gets through. It's all over the place in that scoring area, but eventually New Richmond gets it out. Raiders try to send it up quickly. That's Alanoff sending it up. And offsides on Diego Vega. That'll bring it back, and Richmond will have the kick. 2-goal lead is not one that any soccer coach is comfortable with. Any team can score an interesting goal at any time, and then you're down to a 1-goal lead. And with possible PKs over, inadvertent handballs and things like that, a 2-goal lead can evaporate rapidly. So, Solom won't breathe a sigh of relief until the Raiders maybe get one more on the board. But New Richmond's defense is playing tough, so it's maybe one where we're going to be on our edge all the way to the end. Ball's coming back. Strumke's going to take it. It's looked like him and Alanoff were communicating all the way in, but a little hesitancy. Comes the punt. Strumke's got a big leg. Vega gets a bit of a head on it up to Matson. Vega takes a blast to the chest, but keeps that ball moving. Got a clear by New Richmond, followed by a clear by Nicky Alanoff. Who are these guys? 23. Yeah. Brian Wright in the match for the Raiders. Lassard with the turn. Looks like maybe Kelvin's back into the game.
In for the Raiders, number 23, Brian Wright, and number 18, Kelvin Lassard.
It's a quiet crowd here tonight. That tells you they're cold, I think, more than anything. Usually we hear a lot of cheering with substitutions and all that, but everybody's got their mittens and things on tonight. It's a cool one. Here comes New Richmond. There's a nice little step-out move by Chapman. And a miss hit there, unfortunately, for New Richmond, and the ball's going to go out and give the Raiders a goal kick at the 65-minute mark. Down to 15 minutes in this match. have seen actually a couple years ago a match with New Richmond where they got a PK and then a quick goal and made it a very interesting game. That was in New Richmond, I think 2 years ago. Hausers, you probably remember it. I think Connor was maybe either a junior or a senior. It wasn't last year, but it was, I think, as a junior. So but when you don't quit and you got some speed, you've always got a shot in soccer. So Raiders defense holding up.
Number 14, Teddy Anderson in for the Raiders.
Throw in here for the Raiders. That's a nice little cross through by the Raiders. Nobody home though. Ball comes out wide. Ben Weaver trying to chip that ball and he's got it back again. Sends it over to Giovanni Morales. Malinoff sending it up. Oof, that was close. Calling off sides. Free kick here for New Richmond at about 68-minute mark. Nice pullback move there by Henry Steele. Richmond, they've got a few guys. They're kind of not spacing themselves, and the Raiders defense played that well. They cut the angles and did a nice job, so they're able to hold that off. And we're gonna have a sub here for New Richmond. See if I can see the number. Binoculars I'm using are not great. Strumke on it.
In for the Tigers, number 20, Jonathan Medini.
Through. Ben Weaver, number 15, battling it in the corner now, and there's Will Cook getting called for the foul, kind of using his body a little too much on that, and Will's a little smaller than a lot of the players, so sometimes he can get away with some of those body moves, but not that time. Now approaching the 70-minute mark. Big ball. They're trying to get it in there and see what happens. I like it. Raiders trying to get the clear. New Richmond gets to get a shot off. Not a great shot. Goes wide. Off balance. and Raiders with the goal kick.
Number 12, Henry Vandenbark back in the game for the Raiders.
Down to about 9 minutes in the match. Soren Matson with a nice pass out wide. Comes back to him, does a nice move through traffic and sends a cross, but it was a little too much on that one, and that one goes long and a little bit errant, and will be a goal kick here for New Richmond. Nice chest trap there by New Richmond, bringing that ball back and trying to reset on offense. They've had some good looks, but nothing that really is going to put a hard shot on. That's a nice sprint move there, trying to sneak through traffic at full speed, and Alanoff decides he's just going to send that out, and that's going to be a deep throw-in for New Richmond. Quick throw, plays it short, gets a little left-footed cross on. Richmond gets a head on, but just not on goal. Sends it wide. And Strumke will have a goal kick here. Raiders get to that ball, try to settle it on D. Vandenbark with a nice turn up to Matson. Through ball to Cook. Again, Cook lowers the shoulder a bit. A little too much contact on the ball. Gave him the advantage to get the ball, and that's going to be a foul. Big ball up. Matson trying to get it up there to steal, but New Richmond defense is strong there. Raiders defense going to play it all the way back to Strumke. Over to Alanoff. Sends it through. No offsides this time. That's Matson. Oh, makes a nice little turn. Gets the goal. Soren Matson. Beautiful play off the ball from Nicky Alanoff.
That's a goal for your Raiders. Number 11, Soren Matson.
So at about the 74-minute mark, the Raiders take that 3-goal lead. They lets you breathe a little sigh of relief. And Matson with a great play. I mean, Alanoff put a nice ball on that wasn't going to get too far ahead. And Matson played it well away from the defense and had the breakaway. And Zaylen Sweet played that ball nice as a goalkeeper, going out far with the body, but Matson made a nice side move that got around him, and then he kept his composure and just put the ball in the net. So that's a real composure goal, and sometimes guys can get a little too jacked up on those runs, and they can mess it up in many ways, but Matson played that textbook, and There's a 3-goal lead for your Raiders with about 5.5 minutes left.
Number 8, Quinn Johnson back in the game for the Raiders.
Wow, New Richmond ran in multiple players, but somehow kept the ball, and it was a remarkable little run there. Number 8, Stephen Chapman trying to just take a shot from wherever, trying to make something interesting happen. Down to about 4 minutes in the match. But New Richmond does not quit. Here they come again. It's a nice play there. Get around the corner, send it up. That's Calvin Lassard there back on defense, keeping that ball out. So through ball through. And offsides on probably multiple Raiders there. We're all in the zone, so it can be easy to question an offsides call because it's actually where the players are when the ball's kicked, and usually by the time you see that it's called, you have no idea if it was really offsides or not. So that's why the side judges call it, because they're specifically looking for that in those situations. And so it's where is when the ball's kicked. The ball may not be there yet, which is why sometimes it looks like guys are offsides, but they're not. So it's a tricky one as a fan to watch. On TV, it's a little easier because you can replay it and see more closely what was going on. Little chip ball there. Oof. Good sneaky attempt there by the Raiders. Number 8, Quinn Johnson. And Raiders will get a corner kick here with about 2.5 minutes left in the match. We're winding down. Raiders continue to lead 3-0. Lassard and Alanoff. Oh, nice play there for Zaylen Sweet. Got Lassard and Alanoff staying back to make sure no sneaky goals can happen. They both got some speed, good ball skills. Brian Wright sending that ball up. Quinn Johnson sending it back to Vandenberg. Play it all the way back to Alanoff. We're now down to 1.5 minutes in the match. Looks like the Raiders are going to take this victory most likely. All the way back to Lassard. Ships it over to number 13, Giovanni Morales. Over to Brian Wright. Up to Vandenberg. Sends it across. And headed out by New Richmond.
One minute.
Vandenberg threads the pass through 2 defenders. New Richmond still working, playing tough. Broussard with a nice takeaway. Vandenberg sends it all the way back to Alanoff. 30 seconds left in the match. I'd like to thank everyone again for tuning in, and these matches are all on YouTube to watch later on. If you miss a game, you can always watch it at another time, and we will be back here next Tuesday for the last match of the Big Rivers Conference.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That's our ball game. Congratulations to the Raiders with a 3-0 win over New Richmond. We appreciate the game from both players, all the coaches, training staff. Special thanks to our officials for calling a great match, and all of our friends around the field who kept the balls in play. We appreciate you a lot. Parents and fans, thanks for coming out. Have a great night and drive safely. And we'll see you all Raider fans back here next week for our next match on Tuesday night.